Welcome to the Landscape Business AI podcast, the show for landscape and outdoor living business owners who are done being buried by admin, quotes and paperwork. I'm Nick Ruddle. I've spent nearly 20 years and over 10,000 hours coaching landscape businesses across the UK, and every episode I'm going to give you one real problem, one real story, and 3 things you can go and do this week to fix it. No fluff, no jargon, just what actually works. Let's get into it. The best kept secret problem. Ask most landscape business owners where their work comes from, and you'll get the same answer nearly every time. Word of mouth, referrals. People just recommend us. And there's something genuinely lovely about that. It means the work speaks for itself, and that matters. But here's the problem with word of mouth as your entire marketing strategy. It's completely outside your control. You can't turn it up when things go quiet. You can't predict it. You can't plan around it. It either happens or it doesn't, and when it doesn't, when a quiet patch hits, when a couple of regular referrers retire or move house, you've got no lever to pull. The diary just empties. I see this constantly in 20 years of coaching landscape businesses. An owner will tell me proudly that they've never spent a penny on marketing, and in the same breath tell me they're worried because inquiries have dried up this quarter and they don't know why. Those 2 things are connected. If your only channel is word of mouth, you are, by definition, entirely dependent on other people's memory and goodwill to keep your business fed. The deeper issue is that most landscape businesses that rely purely on reputation are, in a sense, the best kept secret in their area. Brilliant work, but invisible to anyone who hasn't already met someone who's used them. Meanwhile, a much average competitor with a consistent online presence and a simple follow-up system is picking up the inquiries from everyone who doesn't already know you exist, which, in most areas, is the vast majority of potential customers. This isn't about becoming a marketing expert or spending a fortune on adverts. It's about recognizing that word of mouth is a wonderful bonus, not a strategy, and building something underneath it that works even when the recommendations slow down. Our work does the talking. That was pretty much this owner's motto, and for 15 years of trading, it had genuinely held true. Superb local reputation, steady work, purely through recommendations, no marketing spend whatsoever. He was proud of that, and honestly, I understood why. Then 2 things happened close together. A couple of his most loyal referrers, long-standing clients who'd sent him several jobs each over the years, both moved away within the same year. And a new landscaping company opened up nearby, with a much less impressive portfolio, but a consistent presence online, decent photos of every job posted regularly, and a habit of following up every inquiry within a day. Within 6 months, his inquiry numbers had dropped by nearly a third, and he genuinely couldn't work out why, because nothing about his work had changed. When we sat down and mapped it out, the answer was uncomfortable but clear. He wasn't losing work because he'd gotten worse. He was losing work because he'd never needed a system for generating and following up inquiries, so when the word of mouth tap slowed down, there was nothing underneath it to catch the fall. Every other business fighting for the same customers had, without him really noticing, built a visible presence and a following up habit that his hadn't. We didn't turn him into a marketing department overnight. That was never realistic, and it wasn't necessary. What we built was much simpler, a habit of documenting finished jobs properly with photos, a basic but consistent posting rhythm so his work was visible to people who'd never met him. And crucially, a simple process for following up every inquiry within 24 hours rather than whenever he got a spare moment. Within about 4 months, inquiries had recovered past where they'd been before the drop, not because word of mouth had returned, but because he now had a second engine running underneath it. And the thing that struck him most, he told me later, wasn't the new inquiries. It was the relief of no longer feeling like his entire business depended on other people remembering to mention his name. 1. Make your work visible, not just good. Every finished job is proof of what you can do, but only if someone actually sees it. Get into the habit of photographing completed work properly, good light, tidy site, a few different angles, and posting it consistently somewhere people can find it. This isn't about becoming a content creator. It's about making sure the evidence of your quality exists somewhere beyond the memory of the one client who saw it happen. The mistake most landscapers make here is treating this as optional or embarrassing, something only pushy businesses do. It isn't self-promotion, it's simply removing the barrier between excellent work and the people who'd want to buy it if they knew it was possible. Consistency matters more than polish. A phone photo posted every week beats a professional shoot posted once a year. If writing the post itself is what puts you off, the Landscape Business AI Assistant can turn a couple of site photos and a rough description into a proper caption in seconds, so the only thing standing between you and consistency was ever the writing, not the work. 2. Speed of response is a marketing decision, not just a sales one. How quickly you respond to a new inquiry says something to the customer before you've said a single word about your work. A same-day reply signals a business that's organised and takes its customers seriously. A reply 3 or 4 days later, even from an excellent landscaper, quietly signals the opposite, whether that's fair or not. Build yourself a simple rule. Every inquiry gets acknowledged within 24 hours, even if it's just a short message saying you've received it and will follow up properly by a specific date. This single habit on its own will outperform almost any amount of money spent on adverts because it directly affects whether an inquiry that's already arrived actually converts into a booked job. When an inquiry does come in, the Landscape Business AI Assistant can draft that first acknowledgement message for you in seconds, so replying within 24 hours takes moments rather than depending on you finding the right words at the right time. 3. Don't let your best customers become invisible. Referrals feel like they happen by magic, but they're rarely truly random. They tend to come from a small number of genuinely happy repeat clients who think of you naturally when someone asks for a recommendation. The mistake is not staying visibly in touch with that small group, so when their memory of you fades a little, so does the flow of referrals. A simple habit here: keep a short list of your best, most loyal clients and make a point of staying lightly in touch. A message after a job's finished, checking everything's settled, an occasional update when you've done a piece of work nearby they might like to see. You're not chasing referrals directly, you're simply making sure you stay easy to remember and easy to recommend. The Landscape Business AI Assistant's knowledge base can hold that list for you, so it's there ready whenever you want to check who you haven't spoken to in a while, rather than trying to keep it all in your memory. Here's what ties all three of those together. Visibility, speed of response, and staying in touch with your best clients all depend on the same thing. A simple, consistent system running in the background, rather than relying on memory and good fortune. A lot of this is genuinely easier with the Landscape Business AI Assistant holding the information for you, your inquiries, your client list, ready whenever you check in, so nothing depends purely on you keeping it all in your head. What that business I told you about actually needed wasn't a marketing department. It was a company operating system, one place to log finished jobs, track inquiries, and know who needs following up and when, whether you're stood on site or back in the office at the end of a long day. That's it for this episode. If you're finding this useful, hit follow or subscribe wherever you're listening so you don't miss the next one. Here's the thing I want you to remember. Every hour you save on paperwork and quoting is an hour back with your family. That's the real return. Not the software, not the systems, the life you get back. What you've heard today is just one piece of it. The Landscape Business AI Assistant does exactly this kind of thing across every part of your business: sales, marketing, operations, recruitment, strategic alliances, and finance, all in one place, built specifically for landscape and outdoor living businesses. If you want to see it for yourself, go to assistant.landscapebusinessmastery.com and watch it work. And if you'd like some help beyond the software, one-to-one coaching, or team leader and manager training for your business, head to nickruddle.com. Both links are in the show notes too. I'm Nick Ruddle. See you next time.